Hey guys, welcome to another pop culture review. Today we will be reviewing the black and white Toy Tokyo New York Comic Con exclusive Godzilla. So really quickly, before we get into the review, I just wanted to point out two things before moving into it. Two things that you probably notice when doing the 360 of the box itself. Is that, number one, here is the Toy Tokyo limited 15-year anniversary sticker. It shows that it's an exclusive to New York Comic Con. I did get mine at New York Comic Con, as well as mine has the signature of all three suitmation wearers that wore the suit for Godzilla. So I have them, I had them sign the box, as well as I got to take a photo with them. I did get to manage to show you guys footage of me getting the signature, as well as I got the footage of me getting the signatures at New York Comic Con. I shall post a link right here. You can click that and see us talking about us getting the box, as well as our experience meeting the actors who got to play Godzilla and getting the autograph. So just click here and you can see that, as well as I will link you guys to the Comic Con footage, the playlist. Here we get a good look at the entire Funko Pop. Alright, let's go in for a closer look, starting with his head. Here we get a closer look at the sculpting of Godzilla's head. You can see all the little scales that they sculpted into him, as well as the black and white paint. I know that I've heard that some people had said that they did not like the sculpt on Godzilla, feeling like he looked like a ferret, I believe some had said, or that he looked more like Godzuki. I feel like from up front, that might be the case. Not necessarily to me. I feel like he does look like Godzilla, but mostly from the side, I feel like you get more of the Godzilla profile. He looks more like a high side version of Godzilla. I really don't think that he looks like any other version, but I feel like they also try to keep it in a way that would please most fans without feeling like they had to do one version or one particular type of Godzilla from one particular film. It feels more like a universal Godzilla, so that they can reuse the sculpt over and over again if they decided to do variants, which they've already done, like I think 4 different versions of Godzilla at the point of this review. I do enjoy the fact that they decided to paint him in a black and white color scheme, because it is very reminiscent of the original 1954 film, so that gives it major kudos. I like that the teeth, as well as the mouth, is like black, and the teeth are, kind of like a teethy color, kind of like a gray, more of like a bone color, but not necessarily completely. It's still like a good balance where it feels like it's supposed to be in black and white. So moving down to his torso, you can see that the fins, the sculpting on the fins kind of like moves all the way down, and they kind of gave him like a chest kind of thing going on, which kind of bothers me just a little bit, because I mean, it doesn't really look like a suit or like the suits that they would use in the film, especially knowing that, like, as a Godzilla fan, they would usually have, he has like a 3 chest kind of thing going, where it's like a bump here and a bump here, and then there's a center piece. So I kind of wish they would have sculpted that in, knowing that Godzilla does have that. It's something that's in most of the films, except for like maybe the American versions of the film, so I wish they would have implemented that into this sculpt. But everything else kind of looks fine. It does look kind of suity. It doesn't really look like an actual like monster, with the way the thighs are predominant and the knees. I just wish they would have sculpted a little bit more detail into him, instead of relying just on the scaling itself. But as a sculpture of Godzilla from far away, this just looks awesome. I do wish the tail was a little bit longer, but I understand for packaging purposes they couldn't necessarily do that. Also, one of my minor gripes is that they decided not to go with the let's see if we can focus here on the scales a little bit more. That they did not add the gray scaling into the spines, because Godzilla is known for having that kind of black coming into the scale and then the silvers around it. I wish they would have implemented that a little bit more. But for the most part, it's not too much. It's just minor, like, you know, minor issues with the sculpting and the paint. I do like his hand positions as well. I like that they, you know, kept it to 3 fingers. They, you know, they didn't mess up on that. I do like his big feet as well. I do kind of wish that they would have made his toenails a little bit higher, because if you watch the films, Godzilla's feet, the toenails never really touch the floor because of how big the foot actually is. So it's usually like a little bit above. I wish they would have implemented that, but I understand why most toys don't actually do that. They try to just recreate Godzilla as if he was a living being rather than a suit. So overall, my thoughts on this particular Funko Pop is that I absolutely love him despite the minor things that I've complained about in this review. I think he is an awesome addition to my Funko Pop collection. I do very much enjoy him and so glad that I could finally have a Godzilla Funko Pop. Especially one that's black and white, and then having you know, the color one come out soon. I wasn't too fond of the glow-in-the-dark one, even though he fetches for a higher price. When I went to Toy Tokyo, I only got this one because at the time this is all I could afford, as well as this is the only one that I actually truly wanted. It just reminds me so much of the original film that, you know, that's the one I wanted to go for. I'm more of a purist that way. I can't wait to see what the other Funko Pops that they decided to do in the Godzilla line. Hopefully they decide to acquire the rights to other villains and stuff like that, because I would love to see a Mothra or King Ghidorah on like this scale. It would be truly awesome. Even a Mecha Godzilla would be awesome. I do like the fact that he is the size that he is as well. I do kind of wish that they would have made him a 9-inch pop. I know that's me being greedy, but it would have been awesome to see a giant Godzilla Funko Pop in that. So, does he come highly recommended? Yes, he does. But to be honest with you, I do feel like he was a little bit expensive, even at the $30 range for a Funko Pop. I understand that he was an exclusive, but to all you guys going out there and getting him on eBay or Pop Culture or whatever, I mean, you know, I wish you the best of luck and not spending, you know, an extreme amount of money. The last time I checked, I've seen him for like $80. I've seen, you know, the pair going for $180. So good luck to you guys. I hope you guys don't get too ripped off by scalpers. But if you're not too big on the black and white, or you don't need the black and white, then definitely just wait for the colored version, the, you know, the green one. I definitely recommend them because I can see, unless you're a huge Godzilla fan or, you know, really big on having entire sets, I don't think you need to have the black and white one or the glow-in-the-dark one unless you absolutely want it, but that's up to you. But as in terms of sculpting goes, there's not going to be much of a difference besides paint between all 3 Godzillas. I know for me, I'm definitely going to hunt down the Burning Godzilla and acquire the common version. So, that's basically it. And remember guys, keep collecting.
The ideas of the details that's going on in this figure. I know Funko doesn't put too much amazing detail. It's not like an SA Small Stars or anything like that, but it's a Funko, so I thought it'd be cool just to let it rotate for just